Hi, everybody. My name is Phil Moore. I'm the author of The Future of Children, which was published in 2017. And I'm here thanks to the great mystery. And you're here thanks to the great mystery. I'm here to talk to you about a new initiative, actually, two new initiatives. You should know about me that I met Buckminster Fuller's work in 1970 and started playing something called World Game. And ever since, I've been playing World Game, which was from 1970 to this very moment. I've been living a miraculous life. And I have an urgency to want to share it with you. And that's why I'm so glad you're here and you decided to join us. And I don't think it's a coincidence. There's a synchronicity about it. The two initiatives that I took when I left Carbondale, Illinois, in that hot summer in 1970, were all based on children. You know, it was really about loving children into being. And so we created a learning community, Upland Hills School, which was founded in 1971 and 1972. A group of about 50 children at that time came together with a really bold and brave idea to create a school that was based in love. And it's still in operation to this very day, I'm so happy to say. And then there was another initiative called Upland Hills Ecological Awareness Center. And that was built to kind of demonstrate that we can live in harmony with the natural world. And we created a building that was built from some on-site materials, mostly fieldstone and a sod roof, and it was built it was built partly by wind power, and it was designed so it could be active and passive solar heating as well. And it became a temple of wisdom. And wisdom teachers would come to us. There were indigenous teachers from the Lakota people who came, and there were people like Ram Dass and Joanna Macy and Jean Houston, Dr. Shafali and Robert Bly and Ashley Montague, people who came to fertilize that field of the learning community. And I think you're here because you're ready to really take a deep dive into a new kind of being by way of a new way of thinking and understanding the world. And that's why we use the title Rewirement Training. I think in 1970, I can say in retrospect that that's when my rewirement began. By the time 1980 occurred, that was the moment that I realized that I was fully now a different kind of human being and ready to take on whatever challenges were about to come. And it was in that year, 1980, that Buckminster Fuller came to open the Ecological Awareness Center. And then I have to mention that last night I was invited to the Art Museum in Asheville, North Carolina, where we now live. And there was this amazing, beautiful exhibit called The Altruistic Genius, Buckminster Fuller's Plan to Save the Planet. And so it was a wonderful evening, and I'm still feeling that. And I think that you might be interested, very interested, in this 3-day online experience that we've created as a team. During this last decade, which has been a rewirement decade for me, it was the first time since I was 23 years old that I was free of the role of being the director of the school or the director or co-director of the Ecological Awareness Center. And it was the first time since my childhood that I could really begin to experience a very new way of being. And as my beloved teacher Ram Dass said, you know, Phil, now it's time for you to be led not by your role, but by your soul. And so these are the two initiatives that are emerging thanks to this beautiful team that has come together to prepare for April 28th, 29th, and 30th, this online experience of bringing teachers and musicians and wisdom keepers and former students to help share with you 8 modules And those 8 modules are the activation of the book, The Future of Children. And now it's time for us to go global and to see who's out there who would like to experience being rewired. What does that mean? Well, one of Bucky's favorite examples was to say that, people continue to talk about the earth and our experience on the earth in a way that's so out of date with what we know. They call it sunset and sunrise, and we know that's not what's happening. So when you start calling it morning rotation and evening rotation, you're closer to the actual experience of what's going on. Rewirement is our ability to lean deeply into a very different dimension. And that's what we're going to be doing over these 3 days. Let me tell you a little bit about those 3 days. We will have on the very first day, Friday, we'll start 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And by the time we get to 5:30 in that day, we'll have covered 3 very important hubs. The first one called Sacred Bubble, and that has to do with protecting, nourishing, and nurturing the sacred territory of childhood. What does it mean to create that within this 3-day experience? It means that we can be authentic. We can take risks. We can be sensitive. We can be our intuitive self. So we'll create the experience of the sacred bubble. And then we'll have one on creativity, because the new paradigm of education is all about creativity. And we'll have a special guest, my granddaughter, and a singer-songwriter and someone that went to our school. And then when we get to wisdom, we'll have a wisdom teacher, somebody who has created a mystery school, someone who is a meditation teacher. He's recently, within the decade that I've known him, written about 20 to 30 books. And so you'll have the experience, the felt experience of these modules. And then by the time we get to our final day on Sunday, which will complete sometime around 3:30 p.m. in the Eastern time zone, we'll have this integration experience. And we're still shaping it at this point. The invitation to you is that you're not here by accident watching this. I really believe you're somebody who wants to play the world game and to continue to play it as I have decided to do. I'm in my 75th orbit around the sun right now, and I'm already taking the 2 initiatives that we created from 1971 until I left as the director in 2014. And now I've got 2 more initiatives. This one, the 3-day initiative, has been in the planning and making for the last several months. And it's why I'm so excited that you're here now, listening to me, because I can't wait to introduce you to a direct experience of being rewired and to meet these new people and perhaps to find your tribe. And that's what I think is a real possibility in terms of who might show up. Anybody from the globe can tune into this, and we'll make a really excellent recording. And that recording will be available for you long after the conclusion of this experience. So, as Karen and I were returning from Asheville after having an amazing experience with a multi-generational crew, it occurred to me that I never want to stop living this miraculous life. I want to continue to risk time, talent, and treasure in order to create something that hasn't been created before. The last module is sometimes, I think of it as being Homo Universalis, a new expression of our human evolution, one that really culminates in being centered in love. Actually, another title for that module 8 is Love is the Cure. Well, you may be an educator, you may be a parent, you may be an outlier, you may be a lifelong learner, but for sure, you're somebody who wants to shift the paradigm from fear into love. And that's what I'm offering. And I say that I'm offering it, and I know that it's really we. A whole group of marvelous human beings have come together to help me get to this point where we can make this request to all of you. And you'll meet them all during the course of these 3 days. So I'm going to close by saying that I want your life to be miraculous as well, because I know that you're a doorway to other people, that in order for you to take the risk of being here and have the curiosity to investigate this 3-day rewirement training, you're already hearing the call. So if anything that I'm saying is connecting to you and touching your heart, and you want to live your soul's code the way that Karen and I have been able to do, and to raise our 2 children, Sasha and Nina, full term throughout our school, and to have our grandchildren connect to the school as well, and to have experiences in the school. I know that when a child is loved into being, they're a very different kind of human being. So join us on April 28th. All the information you need is at the bottom of this screen and the rest of this landing page. For now, I just want to say how wonderful it is to have this opportunity to speak directly to you, and to say, if anything that I've said has touched your heart in any way and gotten you curious about awakening the sacred child within yourself. Because really, as parents, what we learn that unless we do the work internally, nothing we say matters. We have to model it. And so if any of this is connecting with you and you're feeling like you'd like to spend more time with somebody who's so passionate about this paradigm shift from fear to love, then please get in touch with me. We'll have a conversation, and I hope to see you on April 28th. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. And let's together learn how to become true world game players, players of an infinite game, to make the world work for 100% of humanity without disadvantaging the natural world. Sending love from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina